Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Charles, and you're watching Save Our Children TV. Back at it for a brand new video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, that post notification bell, hit the Cash app at money sign capital CPA 106. I also want to say Happy October. Happy October. And we're gonna have a wonderful year, a wonderful month, and I'm gonna continue consistently dropping Mondays and Thursdays on this channel. And so I have 6 stories for you guys tonight. And the first story is being about the 9-year-old who went missing upstate New York, who was just found a couple hours ago. And we're going to talk about this story. Now, initially, this happened on Saturday. And she was found today. I'm on CNN. Parents of 9-year-old who went missing on New York camping trip received ransom notes before daughter was found, governor says. Charlotte Sena, the 9-year-old girl who went missing on a camping trip at a New York State park 2 days ago, has been found safe, and the suspect has been detained at 37 Monday evening. Before she was found, Charlotte's parent received a ransom note at their home. New York Governor Kathy Hochul told CNN Monday evening. Hochul told CNN's Anderson Cooper the note has fingerprints on it, which associates authorities in tracking down the suspect and the timely finding Charlotte. Hochul said the suspect's fingerprints were already in a law enforcement database, but she did not elaborate on any other case the suspect had been involved in. I have cautioned that this is still very much a live investigation, she said. And as more information that can be confirmed, there is whether we will get out there. Cell phone pings from people in the area According to state police, once the suspect, who they believe was in the area around the time Charlotte went missing, was identified, they searched several homes associated with them. They found Charlotte on Monday at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time. They said and took the suspect into custody. Here is the news video.
search for the missing girl in upstate New York. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis has an update in the newsroom. Jenna.
Dana, just incredible news tonight. That little girl has been found safe. We're still awaiting more details, but state police say Charlotte Senna is in good health and a suspect is in custody. This follows a massive search effort to bring the 9-year-old home after she went missing Saturday night at Morrow Lake State Park, which is north of Albany. She was on a camping trip with family. Police say she went biking with close friends in an area of the park known as Loop A. She went for one more loop on her own and disappeared. Her bicycle was found abandoned, and her mother called to report the child missing. Hundreds of search and rescue personnel across multiple agencies took part in this around-the-clock effort. Of course, there are still many unanswered questions, but we do know, again, a suspect is in custody, and police are calling this an active investigation. We'll have more updates on the news at 11. Dana?
So good to hear she's found alive. That's so important. Thank you, Jenna.
Turned out of breaking news coming in right now after that Amber Alert for a 9-year-old girl who had vanished in a state park outside Albany, New York. Just moments ago, authorities now reporting she has been found and she's in good health. Stephanie Ramos with the details just coming in.
After a massive search for 9-year-old Charlotte Senna, who vanished from a park in upstate New York, tonight, state police announcing she has been found alive, and they say she is in good health. The family arriving just moments ago inside the park, and police say a suspect is in custody. It comes at the end of a 48-hour search.
We are leaving no stone, no branch, no table, no cabin unturned.
Charlotte Senna was last seen at 6:15 Saturday night in Morrow Lake State Park, where she was camping with her family. After riding bikes with friends around this loop, the fourth grader decided to go around one last time, alone before sunset. But when she didn't return after 15 minutes, her parents started searching. At 6:45, the bike was found along the path, but Charlotte was gone.
They came here to just have an ordinary time. The kids could have a chance to be in nature, have a chance to be kids. But instead, the day turned into every parent's nightmare.
And David, the family have been so worried, but tonight they are overjoyed. We saw friends and family coming out of the park behind us here to thank everyone for their help. There were cheers, just complete joy. Of course, we are waiting for more details surrounding Charlotte's disappearance, but tonight she is with her family. David?
Just a remarkable ending to this. We're glad she's okay. Stephanie Ramos reporting tonight. Steph, thank you.
More breaking news we're following in New York right now. Authorities say a 9-year-old girl who disappeared during a family camping trip has been found safe after a 2-day search. Police say Charlotte Senna has been found in good health and the suspect is in custody. They haven't released any other details. We'll stay on top of that, bring you any new information as we get it.
My closing, my closing thoughts about this particular story is that the times that we live in, it's dangerous. Personally, I don't know if I would allow my child to, first of all, ride alone in a busy state park. You just don't know who's around. You don't know who's lurking in the distance. You don't know anything can happen. And the person who kidnapped this child clearly their mind clearly is focused on harm, but they know that they just got out of prison. And if they did something stupid, that they were going to prison for life. But I believe they said the suspect before the child went missing left a ransom note at the family's home. That's suspicious. And that's another thing, you gotta be careful when you allow your children to be alone, riding a bike alone in a park, anything. You just don't know what's in it. You don't know who's around. Um, and clearly this person clearly was preying on his child, and this person planned this out. Probably followed this family to the state park. Um, it's scary. It is. And I'm just grateful to report that this child was found alive and reunited with their family. Because a lot of the stories I report when children go missing, it turns out not so good. They end up dead, brutally murdered. So we're glad that New York State stepped up the search and rescue process and found this child alive and took that individual into custody. And people like that don't deserve to be on our streets if we are preying on children, kidnapping children, sending ransom notes to people's houses. It's scary. It's awkward, weird, devastating. But it's a lesson that we all should learn that we live in a dangerous world, and you just can't allow your children to go out by themselves because you just never know if they will ever come back. You don't know if they end up in the wrong person's hands. And clearly, this man is sick to be doing this type of stuff. But you could always remember that this is probably the first time he did this. The first time he was lurking, praying. First time he got caught. But I'm pretty sure he was out there watching other children, taking notes, doing all this other stuff. But yes, we live in a scary world and we got to do better. And I suggest if you are going on a camping trip, that if you have young children, that you don't allow them to be alone on a bicycle riding because you just don't know. I ain't blaming the parents, but we just gotta be more aware of our surroundings, children's surroundings, because you just don't know. You don't know. And right now, this is aggravated kidnapping because he took the child and she was missing for four, almost 4 days. She was missing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, almost 4 days. So she was missing on the third day. And so this was aggravated kidnapping and then probably child abduction or some other charges. You're probably looking at several different charges. Scary. It is. It's very, very scary. So like, comment, subscribe. Put your hands in the comment section for the child's safe return. And keep your family in your thoughts and prayers when they get through this traumatic time, especially what they're going through with the ransom note and this person taking a child. Couldn't imagine that the pain, anguish that this family feels. So we're gonna move on to our next story. Florida's going to take an air for our next story. I'm on Fox 35 Orlando. A Florida teacher faces abuse charges for slapping and pulling a 4-year-old child with autism, police say. So this happened on September the 8th in Edgewater, Florida. So Edgewater, Florida is going to take an L. A Central Florida teacher was arrested for allegedly slapping and pulling on a child with autism, causing them to fall on a bookcase, according to police. Stacy Stern was arrested and charged with child abuse by Edgewater police officers after the incident that happened Thursday at Indian River Elementary. The 48-year-old woman is accused of striking the 4-year-old child in the arm twice with an open hand. Police said the child ran away, but Steen allegedly grabbed the child by the arm, pulled them backwards, and the child fell. The center arm struck a bookcase when they fell, causing a minor laceration. Police arrested Stern at her home in Port Orange. As of Friday morning, she bonded out of jail. I'm going to say this. It is a privilege to be a teacher, okay? And number two, you need to know how to be a teacher, okay? You don't go to work as a teacher and abuse children. That's not your job. Your job is to teach children. If children are out of control, in general, why not just call the parent? But for you to abuse someone else's child, slapping them, and you're dealing with a child with autism. And another reason why that we should be doing our background checks on these teachers when they're dealing with our children, because you just don't know what happened behind closed doors. And again, I don't think she should be able to be bonded out of jail. I think she should be sitting in jail. She should be under the jail. This was child abuse. And if black man teacher, was charged with this, he would be sent to jail to trial, and or if he pled guilty, awaiting a sentencing. So why is she walking the streets after abusing a child with autism? There should be people outraged, because what type of punishment is that when we're letting out a person who is violent against children? So this teacher needs to be fired, terminated, and she needs to be in prison. We need to hold these teachers accountable for their actions. You go to work to teach, not to beat. So, the elementary school failed these students. They knew what type of teacher this was. And again, they allowed this teacher to work with the students, knowing that she probably couldn't even handle herself. She probably got a bunch of emotions and anger. And now you're dealing with people, children, in an aggressive manner. So, selfish. They're selfish. Let's move on. And I'm on the CBS News. Man is accused of trafficking his kids. So let's talk about it. Black musician says he was falsely accused of trafficking his own children aboard American Airlines flight. One of the nation's biggest airlines has been called into the spotlight after a black father was accused of trafficking his own children on a flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles earlier in September. David Ryan Harris, a musician who has collaborated with the likes of John Mayer, Carlos Santana, and the Dave Matthews Band, recently took to social media to tell his story and ask for people to do better after the incident rattled his family. Harris says that he was aboard an American Airlines flight 2 weeks ago, heading to LAX with his two biracial sons, Truman and Hendrix. As they were deboarding the airplane, they found four police officers waiting for them at the gate. Apparently, a flight attendant had called ahead with some self concern that perhaps my mixed children weren't my children. Here's said in a video posted on social media accounts. We are Matt embarrassingly embarrassing. So by this double employee and police officers, they questioned my kids. It took American Airlines It took American Airlines officials more than a week to contact Harris after the incident, despite his attempt to contact the customer service line. He did not receive any communication until he posted his story online. There was many steps they could have taken before she lobbed a hand grenade of having the authorities called. Harris said a flight attendant who called the police. Harris says that someone with American Airlines saw a story on the social media feed and reached out to him several days ago, offering an apology and $10,000 frequent flyer miles. I had to go through a ticket counter. I had to go past federal agents. It's just out with the federal agents. Once we got past TSA, I don't want to hear from a flight attendant. What kind of hunch they have, he said. Okay, number one. Now, I understand airport workers working in airports have some concerns. I understand that. But when you walk up to a black man and tell him that two of his biracial children are not his, that's racial profiling. And then you belittle him in front of everybody in the airport. That's a lawsuit. And you did this in front of his children. I don't understand what gave airport employees the right to belittle people in front of children because you think you're higher up, because you work in an airport and you think airport security and police can protect you. This is insane, you know? And to make a false allegation saying that the man um, trafficked his children is a lawsuit that can get you and your business shut down. I will sue the airline company. I will sue you, your department you work for, everybody around, because I don't understand what gives people the right to discriminate against people. We got to do better when it comes to discrimination in America. Like, comment, subscribe, turn post notification now. We have three more stories to do. 6-year-old boy is attacked by a bat by a man. So let's talk about it. Some of the New York Post in Texas is going to take an L. Texas man beats a 6-year-old neighbor with a bat, leaving child unconscious. A 6-year-old Texas boy has been lying unconscious in a hospital bed for more than a week after his 39-year-old neighbor allegedly broke into his home and beat him with a baseball bat. The young child named Jeremy suffered brain swelling and multiple skull fractures after Daniel Logan attacked him with a bat around 5 a.m. September the 11th in Georgetown, Texas, according to police in a local report. Logan was arrested and charged with injury to a child and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against a family member. Both first-degree felonies after he allegedly struck his own mother with a bat as well. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office said his wife was the one who called 911 after her mother-in-law walked out of the child's house dripping blood and screaming that Daniel was killing everyone inside. According to the arrest affidavit obtained by the Austin American-Statesman, she told a detective who arrived at the incident homes on Rock Mill Loop that she woke up to loud banging noises and realized her husband was not in their house, but her back door was open, the local outlet reported. She walked out of the back door and noticed a hole in the picket fence that divides her and her husband's property from Jeremy's family property, and then saw that the family's glass door of the back patio had been shattered, according to the affidavit. The alleged attacker's wife then heard her mother-in-law and Jeremy's mother screaming from inside the neighbor's house. Then Logan's mother walked out covered in blood and screaming for help. His mother later told the detective from her hospital bed that she saw her son go into the neighbor's home armed with a baseball bat. She watched him go upstairs and followed him up to the second floor, where she found little Jeremy slumped on the floor of her upstairs bedroom, the lady said. Her son had gone back downstairs, and she followed him again, pleading with him to stop. When he turned around and whacked her in the face with the bat, according to the arrest document. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office did not release a motive for the horrific attack against the child, and the boy's father told the Austin American-Statesman that he was unable to comment on whether he knew his son's attacker because there is an open investigation into the violence. The Sheriff's Office instead called the incident a random act. A GoFundMe campaign created for Jeremy and his parents has raised more than $200,000 for his medical care. Jeremy's father, Arthur, posted an update on his son to the fundraising page earlier this week. Jeremy remains in critical care, but he continues to show movement and on his limbs and is responding. He went alongside a post photo of the boy. He said his son was very active before he was beaten. He spoke fluent Chinese and was studying Chinese characters, played piano, and was a role model, a hero for his younger brother. Arthur said, "He is awesome." All right. Well, number one, you have to ask yourself what makes a person so mad that they will go into somebody else's house and beat someone else's child with a baseball bat and then beat their mother with a baseball bat. That's number one. Number two, you have to be some type of evil to do this to your child, somebody else's child, or any child in particular, because this right here was aggravated felony child abuse together. You know, you intended to kill people. If you're gonna beat somebody, it's like stabbing somebody with a knife or shooting somebody. You use a deadly weapon because you were mad at the world. Because you were mad. And you could have killed somebody. Could have killed a child. Could have killed your mother. You could have ruined people's lives. You know what I'm saying? It's devastating. And you need to go to prison for life because this was attempted murder. This was attempted aggravated murder. This was attempted felony murder. first degree attempted murder. This was attempted murder. And so you clearly don't deserve to be in society. You clearly have an anger issue. But taking out on society ain't gonna help. You need to get yourself helped. Not go and beat people out of your own selfishness. Like, come subscribe, pray hands for the family, and spirit recovery to the young boy and to the mother of the suspect mother. And she looking for recovery also. So let's move on. More news for Antonio. Another teacher strikes a nonverbal and autistic child. So let's talk about it. Teacher charged after video surfaced showing her hitting student with extension cord. A North Carolina teacher has been charged with simple assault after video surfaced showing her hitting a student with what appears to be an extension cord. So North Carolina is going to take an L. In the video, 71-year-old Patricia Graham is seen striking one student at least twice with what appears to be a wrapped up extension cord. According to the Lenore County Sheriff's Office, Graham has been charged with simple assault. She has been aggravated. Deputy said two students ages 16 and 17 were struck by the teacher who has resigned. One parent had chose words for what she would do if that were her child. I'd have whipped her butt. A teacher would have whipped her tail over my young and I would go to jail for assault. Any parent would, said Shannon Taylor. Lenore County Schools provided this statement about the incident. District and school administrators have reviewed the circumstances of the incident in a South Lenore High School classroom on Wednesday, March 1st. Law enforcement has been briefed, and the school has communicated with the parents of the students involved. The teacher is no longer employed by Lenore County Public Schools. LCPS considers it as a personal matter and will have no further comment. Now, just wanna, in my opinion, if this happened on your campus, you should wanna clear your name. Maybe put a statement out there. Maybe, because this don't look good on y'all. You're running from, what you're doing is you're running from liability. And if you aware that this teacher did this multiple times in a classroom, then you can be held accountable too. Because this teacher should have been fired a long time ago, especially if she goes to school as a teacher and hit children with extension cords. I don't understand why this was never reported when this first happened. So again, you gotta be careful. These schools. You just never know. You never know. You just never know. Everything is a cover up. But the teacher showed her shouldn't have been teaching at that school, and she was just violent against children. So this is the school responsibility. They failed these students. They hired someone who probably shouldn't have been around children in the first place. And to bring a extension cord either to work or you had in her classroom, that's a deadly weapon in its entirety. It's a deadly weapon. You use a deadly weapon against minors, which is called child abuse. So the other teacher was resigned, fired, but she needs not to work in any of the school districts. And you know, back in the days, they used to use pedal in schools, flat boarded pedals in school. But corporal punishment is against the law in 2023. So whether you were a teacher, whether you was a daycare provider, it's against the law. And if you use it against a child, you can go to jail. Welcome to America. You can't just go around and abuse people for your own delegation. You just can't do that. And for our final story, we're going to talk about the Florida versus Timothy Theater, the boy in the box trial. So let's talk about this last story, and then I'll let you guys go for the day. So I'm on Court TV. Florida is going to take an L. I'm on CBS 12. The other news thing wasn't working. I'm going to put up the article. Jupiter, Florida is going to take an L. A couple accused of child abuse and false imprisonment after the adopted teenage son told police he was forced to live in a tiny enclosure in a family garage are about to stand trial. The CBS 12 News I team has been covering the Boy in the Box case since Timothy and Tracy Fury were arrested in February of last year. The 14-year-old son was missing, and when police so it was to adopt his son. He was 14, and they had him in the closet, and basically when him come out and locked up in the closet. Okay, number one, it's a privilege to adopt a child. It's called a privilege because you just can go and just adopt a child. It's a privilege. It requires background. It requires history. It requires a whole bunch of things. And clearly the system again failed because if they knew about these people's history and background, I guarantee they won't put this child in these people's custody. And this isn't the first time things like this happen. Dr. Phil, for instance, on his show, he had multiple cases where the system allowed individuals to take children into their care, and children end up locked in closets, cages, all types of stuff. And so CPS system is very, very broken. And so people like us needs to take a stand and say enough is enough. And CPS should have knew better than giving these people custody of, you know, again, CPS should have knew better than giving custody to people like that who did not care about this child. Because if you cared about this child, like they claimed they do, because they're gonna claim it in court. You unlocked the child in the closet for years on end, and all you did was tuck in the child for the money that you can get for the child. Lock the child in the closet in a garage. It's called abuse. It's called child abuse. And so I think there needs to be a stiffer penalty on when adopting children. Background checks, criminal history. Even if you have a misdemeanor record, absolutely not. Your record should be cleaned. You should be taking massive parenting classes because you're dealing with other people, children. You're adopting them as your own, and then you're abusing them to make yourself feel good on the inside. But what you don't realize is that you're not the victim. 14 you're victimized as a victim. You're suspects. And prison, when you get to prison, when you're convicted, both of you convicted, you get to prison. I hope you can hold your own in there. Because it's a place of hell. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it in prison. When they get to prison, and people know what they're in there for, you can put them in protective custody. They're gonna die in prison. They don't like child abusers. They don't like chummos. They don't like baby killers. None of that. You're not gonna make it in prison. You're gonna make it 6 feet under because again, you're putting yourself in harm's way. You just be cowards than loving and protecting parents of this child you adopted. And at the end of the day, I feel like y'all don't need to even be around children. As soon as you get convicted and you get that life in prison with parole, let's say with parole after 25 years. As soon as you get released, another bond condition is once released, you can have contact with no children for the rest of your lives. You can't even adopt children for the rest of your lives. You can't even be around children for the rest of your lives because you are a risk. You are a risk. Like, comment, subscribe, give this victim your thoughts and prayers, and to adopted parents, God don't like ugly, and you will face justice, and you will go to prison. I hope you can hold your own. I hope you can hold your own. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.